So, you are set on starting the carnivore journey yourself and you have no idea where to get started. Let me help you. So one of the first few questions I hear is, well, how do I get started and what food items should I be putting in my grocery cart? So I really want to center this video around that subject and share with you guys what I would suggest that you purchase within your first few weeks of going on this way of eating. And most importantly, how do I go about making this a convenient way of cooking? So let's jump into the simplicity of the carnivore diet, at least in our first few weeks. This diet is super versatile. However, I'm gonna show you the basics of the carnivore diet so you can make it super simple for yourself. Before I share this list with you, I wanted to say a quick thanks for today's sponsor. One of the most important things that I learned throughout my carnivore journey is that how important electrolytes are and how quickly I am needing to replenish them. I felt so many different symptoms that my body was telling me. I was experiencing frequent headaches. I was getting a lot of cramps, usually throughout the middle of the night as well. And something was just off. And that's when I realized I was way behind my electrolytes. If you're thinking about starting the carnivore journey yourself, or you're someone like me who's 90 days plus into this way of eating, I highly recommend you take your electrolytes. And I would even suggest that to anyone on a low carb diet. Now, what I truly love is having LMNT as part of my arsenal. Now, LMNT is an electrolyte drink mix, and if you haven't heard of it, they are known for having none of the nonsense. So no sugar, no additives, no artificial colorings, none of that junk that's unnecessary, just purely all the right amount of electrolytes that I need per day. So I don't have to worry if I'm getting the right amount, and I don't have to worry about inconveniences. I can take this along with me on my workouts. I can take this with me while I'm traveling. It's perfect for every occasion. And so I absolutely recommend having this into your daily routine. So LMNT is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any purchase. That's the potential to try all 8 different flavors that they offer. And whether, again, you are on the carnivore diet yourself, or if you are recommending an electrolyte drink mix to your friend, I would highly recommend LMNT. Feel free to go to my direct link, which is drinklmnt.com/carnivore. That's DRINKLMNT.com/carnivore. Let's talk about beef. This can come in many different forms. One of my favorite way of getting beef in my everyday diet is through a chuck roast. Trust me, I would love to have a New York strip or a ribeye every day, but unfortunately, that does not fit in my budget. One of my favorite things that I have heard about this way of eating is, eat what you can afford. And what I love about the chuck roast is I can get so much out of one purchase. I mean, look at the price at this. Now, when I portion these out, I can easily get 11 meals out of it. Another good alternative is, of course, ground beef. And so what I would recommend looking for is anything with the highest fat value or the highest fat percentage. What I typically look for at the Walmart or any other grocery store is at 73% lean and 27% fat. And you'll also find that this is much more affordable compared to a leaner meat option. So you'll be saving a few bucks there. It's also important to keep in mind that you want meat that's part of a ruminant animal. So anything that had multiple stomachs will also do the trick. The next thing on your list should be butter. It's great for adding the extra fat and extra energy that you're gonna need throughout your day. And who doesn't love slathering butter on anything? Seriously. Now, please be mindful of the ingredients. You definitely don't want an Imperial branded butter, which is just fake. It's filled with additives, it's filled with fillers such as vegetable oils and all this other garbage. And so it's not butter, it's not the real thing. The prices may look attractive, but I'm telling you, the ingredients are not. You want to look for anything that is grass-fed. That is going to be optimal. But of course, butter, regular butter, is also just sweet cream and salt. Find whatever fits in your budget. Just again, be mindful of the ingredients and stick to what's good for you. So the next thing to add in your list is bacon. And yes, you can have as much bacon as you want. But something to be mindful of is in the grocery store, the sliced bacon, I've noticed there's a lot of preservatives. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I am saying that just from my personal experience, that's been something that's hurt my tummy in the past. And so one thing that you can find as an alternative is just buying the pork belly. Now, I can find pork belly at any of my local grocery stores. I can find it at my international food store, but I love buying it in bulk at the Costco. It's adding a lot of the high fat content that you're needing for your daily meals, and it's very flavorful. Now, the pork belly doesn't come with any seasonings, so you can add as little or as much salt as you would like. The only con to buying pork belly is that they're cut pretty thick, so you're gonna have to do the slicing yourself or just cut it into your preferred shape. My favorite method is cutting them into cubes and popping them in the air fryer, letting them crisp up, and just eating them like chips. It's so good. But don't let me turn you away from pre-sliced bacon. If it works for you, perfect. That's all that matters. So the next thing that you want on your list are eggs. And it's super important to include this as well because number one, it's really affordable, and two, it's packed with all the right nutrition that you're gonna need. A great recommendation would be to make friends with your local farmer, and that way you at least know where your eggs are coming from. You know if they were happy, if they were roaming around and free. I can't say that goes for all the eggs I've purchased in my past, but again, remember to buy what you are able to afford, and if you're able to, I would buy in bulk. So let's talk about the prep work and the effort it takes into prepping these meals for the week in advance. So what I enjoy doing is just taking out all of my meat. This is just pork belly here, and I like to pre-portion these out. And this is really just to help me understand how much I am taking out each time. So I'll measure them out about a pound each, and I will move them into Ziploc bags. So I do the exact same for my chicken, I do it for my beef, and so this just helps me, again, stay organized. I will leave some Ziploc bags in the freezer, and I will leave just a few in the refrigerator so I can easily take that out and start cooking my meals. What's great about this method is you never feel like you're wasting any food, and you're not worried about eating it before an expiration date. All right, let's do a rapid fire FAQ. So here's a great thing about carnivore. You don't track what you're eating, you don't track your macros, you don't count your calories. You are only eating until you are full. Eat when you're hungry. Don't worry about the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner meal times. Your body will tell you when it's hungry, and you'll learn to read those cues. Now, if you are craving something, ask yourself, am I truly hungry? Am I gonna be willing to eat a steak right now? If not, will I eat eggs? If not, then I'm just craving something that I shouldn't. It's easy to understand when your body's telling you that it's hungry versus when it's just going through a carb withdrawal. Absolutely not. So traditional cooking oils are filled with toxins that you don't want in your body. An alternative is you can go to the store and buy some duck fat. Alternatively, you can collect your own rendered fat. Now, I have a glass jar that I pour in all of my pork fat or my lard, and I have a separate glass jar that I put in my tallow, which is anything rendered from beef. You can put this in your refrigerator or leave it out on your counter, as I do, and just simply use it as you would cooking oil. So your best friend on this diet is gonna be salt. Traditional table salt is stripped of all of its minerals and of its nutrition, and it's typically bleached for color. So it's not really white, but that's just what we see it marketed as. What I've been using since the start is Redmond's Real Salt. It's got over 60 trace minerals, and I love that it's right here from the States. It's from Utah, and it's mined from an ancient inland sea. water. You're gonna want lots and lots of water. And because you are drinking lots of water, your body will be releasing, or I should say excreting, a lot more sodium, a lot more electrolytes. So again, I would opt in for an electrolyte mix to add into your water. Otherwise, it's perfectly acceptable to have some coffee or tea if it's something that suits you and your lifestyle. It's not 100% carnivore, but we all have our vices. But do not go for any sugary drinks, no sports drinks, none of that. So I've got some other food ideas for you as well. If you want to branch out a little bit more, check out the description below where I list all of the additional items. But again, I really just wanted to provide you something very straightforward, very simple, and something that would really help you adjust onto this way of eating. Now remember, everyone is different, but I am excited for you to begin on this journey, and please take notes, take photos, take measurements, just really get acquainted with your body and the different cues that you'll begin to learn. And there may be a lot of other positive results that you may find that didn't really stick out to you from the beginning. And if you would like to hear from actual experts, please check below my description where I showcase the various different doctors and individuals who I've gathered my information from and who I think could be really helpful for you too. All right, that just about does it for this video. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me, and if you're on your journey, I'm wishing you nothing but success and full of good health, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.